I guess I've been incredibly lucky over the years. Lucky enough, at least, to have had several close encounters with a rare species. Such encounters don't come along every day. That's what makes them so special when they do come round. I didn't think Trentside meadows like this existed anymore. This is another throwback, really, to my childhood and the days around the village of Lamley, those happy Sundays that we used to spend there. I haven't seen an area of grassland or meadowland with all these meadow buttercups in since I was a lad. Truly beautiful butterfly, whether it's from underneath like this or from above. I do love a violet. I remember as a child, and I used to visit my grandma and granddad and other members of the family in the village of Lamley, not far from Nottingham. When I was very, very young, I would go into the fields at the back of where they lived and pick a handful of violet flowers and give them to my grandma, who would put them in a little jar. Those days will never come back. It's very busy. I've had very little time or opportunity to film anything. So in this video, I may well be putting in more photos rather than actual video footage, but the real spectacle and joy of this is this sheet. So that's Journeys simicoides, and that really is a little beauty. For those of you who can remember or have played the game Twister, you wouldn't stand a chance against one of these. These are real contortionists. They're absolute marvels. Now, one of the most unusual things about this caterpillar, apart from everything about this caterpillar is different and unusual compared to any other that we have in the UK. I don't mean to be rude, it's that you should be looking at, not my finger. This is a tawny pinion. Now, this is a rude gesture. If I was to tell you that 20-30 yards down this grass path which runs through this area of set-aside field, this permanent grass strip, and that at the end of that there's an oasis of colour, of fragrance and thousands of invertebrates, would you believe me? This is spindle ermine, and these are the larvae of spindle ermine. Larvae are produced by the hundred, if not the thousand. And if you want to see some proper damage, have a look at this. It almost looks like some horror film set or some Halloween decorations, that kind of webbing. They're just strands and strands, millions of strands of silk, most of which have got a larva attached to them. They've completely stripped all of the spindle and are now looking for more spindle. It's quite remarkable plant. It's pretty much regarded as the botanical antichrist amongst nature reserve management. That was my purpose of coming here today, but I didn't think it'd be full of these chaps. I'd forgotten all about these. I do like a toad, and they're very responsive toad, even to the lightest of touch. Ah, it hasn't got a button on it. There's nothing like woodland to allow the mind to wander and allow you to think. think about whatever you want, really. Trees do that, and that's why I hate to see them felled. I know some trees are crops, but we just take down so many trees unnecessarily, usually in the name of development, or certainly in the name of money. Now then, prepare yourself for something truly mind-blowing. MP has changed. Just look at this. So you're asking, what's the daft sod doing lying in a field? Well, I'm reminiscing actually of times gone by and of a hobby gone by that I would like to get into again. I thought I'd pop here, back to this little tiny field, this little triangular field, see if it still fits me. The bluebell woodland really is Mother Nature's complete work of art. But the big question is, are bluebells actually blue, or are they mauve or purple? I've returned back to Ordsall today, just on the outskirts of Retford, and I'm here for probably the third and last time. Finally, the mystery of the Ordsall eggs collected from here a couple of weeks ago has been solved. The answer is in here. All that you see, this once productive, fertile, food producing farmland, is going. Once again, our politicians, our councillors, county councillors, local councillors have proved that they value our greenbelt land in terms of money only. But this isn't one of those individuals that can be identified. This one is very confiding, and you can see just above the white and black markings of the abdomen there's that distinctive patch on the right hand side of the abdomen as we look at it. That's the typical sort of identifying mark that you often get with hummingbird hawk moths. Quite often individuals will have some kind of wear on those abdomen or thorax hairs. The Great British Roadside Verge. The Great British almost flowerless roadside verge. We're nearing the end of April, and there's already been first cut to these roadside verges by the local council. Why do we still do it? There's no need for such an early cut. Split the stem. This is about a foot from the ground, and you can see how clean that is. Nothing's eaten that at all. And I feed that down. Now you can start and see the frass appearing. At the top of the screen, you will now see the larva. This is quite remarkable. This is an ambition of mine. It always has been since I was a child. I remember several times missing swarms that were close to where I lived, and I was always a few minutes too late. This is my very first experience of a swarm of wild honeybees. It's a belter of a flower, and no matter how many times poets over the centuries have written about this flower, I don't think any one of them have ever captured the beauty of an English primrose. Many years ago, our farms were smaller. The fields of those farms were considerably smaller than what they are today. Modern farming has gone big. Bigger machinery, bigger fields, less hedgerows, and less meadowland like this. And here's the classic signs. You've got this dying plant of bird's foot trefoil. if I pull that up, you see there how the rootstock's been eaten. But this light brown area here is the larval feeding tube. This is all frass. This brown stuff, that's all larval frass. Frass is the droppings produced by the larva, and that tube goes down, further down into the rootstock. You wouldn't think there'd be enough on the rootstock of a small plant of burlsworth trefoil like this to support a larva, but there obviously is. Bang on 15mm. This will probably go through one molt, one other molt. To be honest, it looks quite freshly moulded anyway. I was beginning to think that I wasn't going to find one again tonight, just coming up and doing another survey, but this evening's not as cool, or at least the temperature's not dropping as cool as the previous 3 evenings in which I've not found one of these little babies. It's very much an opposite. Autumn is entirely opposite and different to spring. 2 very different times of the year. Each season has 2 different feelings, almost 2 different characters. I know that might sound quite obvious, but it's true. Spring is very much a season of new life, new growth, a new start, the slate swept clean, so to speak. Autumn is very different. It's the opposite. Here is a beautiful little butterfly. A butterfly which people in Nottinghamshire haven't seen for in excess of 100 years. Probably even longer than that, because the few historical records we have for the marsh fritillary here in Nottinghamshire are, to say the least, tinged with a degree of doubt and scepticism.